With the free morning in Jerusalem a few years ago, I decided to make my own version of a Palm Sunday walk. While it filled me with joy as I reflected on what was done for me on that ground 2 millennia ago, I couldn't help but wonder what my reaction to Jesus would have been at the time. I'm Michael Quinn Sullivan with a reflection on life and liberty. We don't know exactly what route Jesus took that day into Jerusalem, but the practical options were then, and remain now, limited by geography. Today, Bethany is known as Al-Azariah. As an aside, that name we use today is a reference to one of Bethany's most famous men, a name that comes to us in English as Lazarus, whom Jesus raised from the dead. It's just under 2 miles along modern city streets. Now, as then, this was a busy travel hub. The direct way from Bethany to Jerusalem is over and down the Mount of Olives. I couldn't help but wonder if Jesus cast a glance at the garden where he would, a few days later, pray before meeting his betrayer. I know I did. The Bible doesn't say, but it's most likely that Jesus entered Jerusalem through the Eastern Gate, which at various times was called the Golden Gate, the Gate of Eternal Life, or the Mercy Gate. All appropriate. You can't access anything through the Eastern Gate anymore because a Muslim sultan permanently sealed it in 1541. Jewish beliefs have long held that in the end days, God's Messiah would enter there, so the Ottoman Sultan Suleiman ordered that it be blocked. He was 1,500 years too late. Trying to enter the old city of Jerusalem now at any of the remaining gates will testify to the crowds one would have encountered then, especially, of course, in the days leading up to Passover. While there is much to enjoy about the people of the Middle East, orderly lines is not a thing they value. So the crowds of Jews making their way into Jerusalem on that Palm Sunday must have been intense. With the messianic fervor that had gripped Judea for the better part of 2 decades, the people were well acquainted with the prophet Zechariah. He had said the king would enter on a donkey, and here came Jesus in just such a manner. With cries of Hosanna and Hosanna to the Son of David, the people lined the road with cloaks and palm branches ahead of Jesus and his entourage. The crowd would all abandon him, of course, in just a few days. They would realize he didn't come as the worldly conqueror they expected. Yes, he came to defeat a foe, but one more pernicious than the Romans. On Palm Sunday, they were applauding what they wanted, not what God knew they needed. They were lavishing praise on the fan fiction notion of a Messiah, not the actual Son of God. What would I have done? Jesus wasn't there for their applause. His mission was to free their souls. This is why we should sing our own hosannas with even greater fervor. We know now what Jesus was doing and why he did it. In all the ways you and I have fallen short of God, Jesus filled in the gap. For all the times we scoffed in disbelief, he interceded for us. The debt we owe, he paid. Let us, with clearer minds and more grateful hearts, join this Palm Sunday in singing, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." The Reflections Podcast is presented by Texas Scorecard. I hope you'll subscribe and share today's edition with your friends. I'm Michael Quinn Sullivan. Thanks for listening.